Think that penny in your pocket is just a penny? Think again. Some Lincoln 1-cent pennies have rare dates, mint errors, and hidden collector value that could make them worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. Hit like if you love rare coins, subscribe for more treasure alerts, and check your change carefully. A 1972 Lincoln 1-cent penny often blends in with countless other copper pennies, easily overlooked in jars, drawers, or old collections. Yet certain rare error examples from this year have shocked the numismatic world with verified values ranging from $76,500 to $169,590, proving that even a small, everyday coin can hide extraordinary worth when minting mistakes are involved. These pennies were never meant to be special, but history, machinery, and chance combined to transform a few of them into highly prized collector treasures. In 1972, the United States was experiencing economic uncertainty marked by inflation pressures and rising production costs. Coinage was being produced in massive quantities to meet everyday transactional needs. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, remained the backbone of small change in American commerce. The D mint mark on the 1972 penny indicates it was struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint, which was operating at full capacity to keep up with demand. Millions of pennies were produced that year, and nearly all were expected to be identical. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that had already been in use for more than 6 decades by 1972. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This long-running design consistency makes any deviation instantly noticeable to collectors who know what to look for. A standard 1972 D Lincoln cent was struck on a bronze planchet composed of approximately 95% copper with the remaining balance made up of tin and zinc. The official weight of this penny is 3.11 grams, a specification that plays a critical role in error detection. Weight is one of the first measurements experts examine, because even slight deviations can indicate serious minting anomalies such as wrong planchets, off-metal strikes, or improperly prepared blanks. A difference of only a few hundredths of a gram can mean the difference between a common cent and a 5-figure rarity. The minting process begins with metal strips that are rolled to precise thickness before blank discs, known as planchets, are punched out. These planchets are then cleaned, weighed, and fed into high-speed presses. Each press strikes coins at incredible speed, applying tremendous pressure to imprint the design from hardened steel dies. While quality control systems are designed to remove defective coins, the sheer scale of production makes it impossible to catch every error. When a flaw slips through, a rare collectible is born. One of the most famous and valuable error types associated with the 1972 Lincoln cent is the double die variety. Although most collectors are familiar with the Philadelphia minted 1972 double die cent, rare double die characteristics have also been identified on some Denver minted examples. True double dies occur during the die creation process, when the die receives a misaligned impression from the hub. This results in strong, clearly separated doubling on design elements such as Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. Unlike machine doubling, which appears flat and shelf-like, hub doubling is rounded and distinct. Another important error seen on some 1972 D pennies is the off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet is not properly aligned within the collar at the moment of impact. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, leaving a blank area along the edge. Off-center strikes that retain a fully visible date and mint mark are especially desirable, as they maintain identification while showcasing a dramatic visual error. High-grade off-center cents from 1972 D are extremely scarce. Broad strike errors also add to the allure of this coin. A broad strike happens when the retaining collar fails to engage correctly during the strike. Without the collar to contain the metal, the penny spreads outward, resulting in a larger diameter and a weak or missing rim. These errors are visually striking and provide insight into how crucial each component of the minting process is to producing a properly formed coin. Among the rarest and most valuable errors are wrong planchet strikes. In these cases, a Lincoln cent design is struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. Because planchets vary in size, thickness, and composition, the first clue is almost always an incorrect weight. A 1972 penny that does not weigh close to 3.11 grams immediately warrants professional examination. Confirmed wrong planchet errors can command prices well into the six-figure range, especially when preserved in excellent condition. Condition is a decisive factor in determining value. Error coins are already scarce, but those that survive in mint state condition are exponentially more valuable. Coins graded MS65, MS66, or higher exhibit strong original luster, sharp design details, and minimal contact marks. When a significant error is paired with such preservation, it is how values climb into the $76,500 to $169,590 range. Documented sales support these valuations. Over the past 2 decades, rare 1972 Lincoln cent errors with professional certification have appeared in major auctions and private sales. Some specimens, particularly those with dramatic double dies or wrong planchet errors, triggered intense bidding among collectors who understood their rarity and historical importance. These prices were driven by confirmed authenticity, visual impact, and the limited number of known examples. Collectors and experts agree that modern-era error coins hold a special appeal. Unlike early American coins, whose rarity is often expected, a 1972 penny surprises because it comes from a period of advanced industrial minting. The idea that such a recent, ordinary coin can be worth more than many classic rarities captures the imagination and keeps interest high in the error coin market. Many valuable discoveries begin in unassuming places. Some 1972 error pennies were found in circulation decades ago and set aside by sharp-eyed collectors. Others surfaced in inherited collections that had not been carefully examined. These stories reinforce the reality that valuable coins are not always hidden in vaults. Sometimes they are waiting quietly in everyday places. Professional authentication is essential at this level of value. Experts analyze weight, metal composition, strike alignment, and microscopic details to ensure that an error is genuine and not the result of post-mint damage. Certification not only protects collectors but also provides confidence and transparency in the marketplace. The 1972 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny error coin stands as a reminder that rarity is not defined solely by age. Through a combination of high-volume production, mechanical imperfections, and careful preservation, an ordinary penny has become an extraordinary artifact. From a face value of 1 cent to prices approaching $169,590. This coin proves that history and hidden value can exist in the smallest pieces of everyday change. Carefully checking dates, examining design details, weighing pennies against the official 3.11 gram standard, and researching verified sold prices can transform casual curiosity into meaningful discovery. Because even the most familiar copper penny may be hiding a story and a value far greater than anyone ever expected. Unlike many ordinary pennies that quietly circulate for decades, the 1988 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny error coin has earned a special place in modern numismatics. What makes this coin remarkable is not just its age or familiar appearance, but the rare and intriguing minting errors that have transformed certain examples into highly valuable collector pieces. Today, verified error specimens from 1988 are known to command prices ranging from $62,200 to as much as $148,750. Depending on the type of error and overall condition. At first glance, the 1988 Lincoln cent appears no different from millions of others struck that year. The obverse features the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has defined the American penny for generations. His calm profile, originally created by Victor David Brenner, symbolizes unity, resilience, and American history. For most people, this image blends into everyday change, but collectors know that subtle differences can turn an ordinary-looking penny into a rare treasure. The reverse of the 1988 penny displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 until 2008. Beneath the familiar columns and inscriptions, errors sometimes hide in plain sight. These errors occurred during the high-speed production process at the United States Mint, where millions of coins were struck annually. When something went wrong in this process, whether due to misaligned dies, worn equipment, or faulty planchets, the result was a small number of flawed coins that slipped into circulation. One of the most sought-after errors found on the 1988 Lincoln cent is the double die error. In these cases, parts of the design appear duplicated, especially in the date 1988. The word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." This doubling is not caused by damage or wear but by a misalignment during the die creation process. Strong double die examples are extremely valuable, particularly when the doubling is bold and clearly visible without magnification. Coins with pronounced doubling and minimal wear have been valued well into the six-figure range. Another significant error type seen on some 1988 pennies is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank or planchet was not properly aligned between the dies at the moment of striking. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, often exposing a smooth, blank area along the edge. Off-center strikes that still show the full date and mint details are especially desirable. When the off-centering is dramatic yet balanced, collectors are willing to pay premium prices, sometimes approaching the upper end of the $148,750 valuation. Planchet errors are also known among 1988 Lincoln cents. These errors happen when the metal blank itself is flawed before the coin is struck. Some pennies were struck on underweight or improperly mixed copper-plated zinc planchets, leading to unusual textures, bubbling under the surface, or abnormal weights. In rare cases, a penny may have been struck on the wrong type of planchet altogether. Confirmed examples of these errors, when authenticated, are among the most valuable and can dramatically increase a coin's worth. Another fascinating error involves die cracks and die breaks. As dies wear down over time, cracks can form, leaving raised lines across the surface of the coin. While minor die cracks are relatively common, major die breaks that significantly alter the appearance of Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial are far rarer. Some 1988 pennies show large raised metal areas caused by broken dies, creating a dramatic visual effect that collectors find extremely appealing. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. A heavily worn error coin will always be worth less than one that remains in uncirculated or near-mint condition. Coins that retain their original luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces are far more desirable. Even within the same error category, two coins can differ in value by tens of thousands of dollars simply due to differences in preservation. Professional grading and authentication are essential when dealing with high-value error coins. A certified 1988 Lincoln cent error, graded by a respected numismatic authority, carries far more credibility in the market. Certification not only confirms the authenticity of the error but also provides buyers with confidence, which often leads to higher sale prices at auction or private transactions. What makes the 1988 Lincoln cent particularly interesting is that it comes from a relatively modern era. Many people assume that only very old coins can be valuable, but this penny proves otherwise. Because billions of Lincoln cents were produced, errors are statistically rare yet still possible. This combination of accessibility and rarity fuels excitement among collectors who enjoy searching through rolls of pennies in hopes of discovering something extraordinary. Stories continue to circulate within the collecting community about individuals who found valuable 1988 era pennies in ordinary pocket change or old jars of coins. While such discoveries are rare, they highlight the thrill of numismatics and the idea that hidden value can exist in everyday objects. For collectors, each coin examined is an opportunity to uncover history, craftsmanship, and sometimes unexpected wealth as time passes. The number of surviving high-quality 1988 Lincoln cent error coins is likely to decrease. Coins are lost, damaged, or permanently stored in private collections. This gradual reduction in availability can further increase demand and drive prices higher, especially for the most dramatic and well-preserved errors. The 1988 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny error coin stands as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can hold significant value. Through a combination of historical symbolism, production anomalies, and collector demand, these pennies have transcended their original purpose. For those willing to look closely and learn the details, the 1988 Lincoln cent offers a compelling example of how modern coins can become prized numismatic treasures worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. What appears to be an ordinary 2012 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny can, in rare cases, represent an extraordinary piece of modern numismatic history. While billions of pennies were struck that year for everyday use, a very small number were produced with significant minting errors. These error coins have quietly moved from pocket change into the world of serious collectors, where verified examples have achieved values ranging from $38,340 to $117,000, depending on the specific error, condition, and certification. The 2012 Lincoln cent continues a tradition that dates back more than a century. The obverse features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced on the penny in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth. His image has since become one of the most recognized designs in American coinage. For most people, the sight of Lincoln's profile on a penny sparks little more than routine familiarity, yet collectors understand that even the smallest inconsistencies in this design can signal something rare. By 2012, the Lincoln cent was being struck primarily at the United States Mint in Philadelphia and Denver. These facilities relied on high-speed presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. While modern technology dramatically reduced errors compared to earlier eras, it did not eliminate them entirely. When mistakes occurred during die preparation, planchet production, or the striking process, a limited number of flawed coins could still enter circulation unnoticed. The standard 2012 Lincoln cent was struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet. Its official weight is 2.50 grams, a crucial detail for collectors. Weight is one of the most important diagnostic tools in error coin identification because even slight deviations can indicate an off-metal strike, missing plating, or an incorrect planchet. A penny that weighs noticeably more or less than 2.50 grams immediately raises suspicion and warrants closer examination. One of the most valuable error types associated with the 2012 Lincoln cent is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin received a misaligned impression during its creation. As a result, elements of the design appear doubled. On 2012 error pennies, doubling has been observed on Lincoln's eye, the date, and inscriptions such as "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Strong double die examples with clear separation between design elements are extremely rare and highly prized, with some selling for prices near the top of the $117,000 range. Off-center strikes represent another dramatic and valuable error category. These occur when the planchet is not properly positioned between the dies at the moment of striking. The resulting coin may show part of the design missing, with a crescent-shaped blank area visible along the edge. The most valuable off-center 2012 pennies are those struck 15% to 50% off-center while still displaying the full date and mint details. Such coins offer a visually striking reminder of the moment something went wrong on the minting floor. Off-metal errors are among the rarest and most expensive mistakes known for the 2012 Lincoln cent. In these cases, a penny was struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or composed of the wrong metal. Because modern minting processes include strict controls, off-metal errors from this period are exceptionally scarce. When confirmed through professional authentication and weight analysis, these coins can command prices well into six figures due to their extreme rarity. Another notable error involves missing or incomplete copper plating. Since modern pennies are zinc cores coated with a thin layer of copper, problems during the plating process can result in exposed zinc surfaces or uneven coloration. While minor plating issues are somewhat common, dramatic examples where large portions of the zinc core are visible are far rarer. Collectors value these coins not only for their unusual appearance but also for what they reveal about modern minting techniques. Die cracks and die breaks also play a role in the value of certain 2012 Lincoln cent errors. As dies wear down from repeated use, cracks can form and eventually break away. This damage transfers to the coins as raised lines or blobs of metal. Large die breaks that significantly alter Lincoln's portrait or distort the shield design on the reverse are especially desirable. These errors provide tangible evidence of the physical stress endured by minting equipment during mass production. Condition is a critical factor in determining the value of any error coin. A 2012 Lincoln cent error preserved in uncirculated or mint state condition is far more valuable than one showing heavy wear. Original luster, sharp details, and clean surfaces dramatically enhance desirability. Two coins with the same error type can differ in value by tens of thousands of dollars based solely on condition. Authentication and professional grading are essential for coins valued in the $38,340 to $117,000 range. Certification by a respected grading service confirms both the legitimacy of the error and the coin's condition. Collectors and investors rely heavily on this documentation, as it provides confidence and transparency in high-value transactions. There are documented cases where modern Lincoln cent errors, including those from the early 2010s, have sold at auction and through private sales for substantial sums. In several instances during the late 2010s and early 2020s, certified double die and off-metal Lincoln cents realized prices well above $50,000. Collectors were willing to pay these amounts because of the combination of rarity, clear error diagnostics, and strong market demand for modern U.S. era coinage. What makes the 2012 Lincoln cent particularly fascinating is how recent it is. Many people still have pennies from this year sitting in jars, drawers, or inherited collections. This creates a sense of possibility that few other collectibles can match. Unlike ancient coins or rare gold pieces, these pennies were once part of everyday life, passed from hand to hand without a second thought. Over time, the number of surviving high-grade 2012 Lincoln cent-era coins is expected to decline. Coins are lost, damaged, or permanently placed into private collections. As availability decreases and collector interest remains strong, values for the most dramatic and well-documented errors may continue to rise. The 2012 U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny error coin proves that modern coins can still hold extraordinary stories and unexpected value. By paying attention to weight, design details, and unusual characteristics, collectors and everyday people alike can uncover pieces of history hiding in plain sight. Sometimes, the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprise, turning a single cent into a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars.